Happy Wednesday morning. Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Viveo, the simple way for funeral directors to stream services. Easy for staff, comforting for families, and built to grow your business. Check them out at viveo.org. I hope you guys are excited for today's episode. A lot of exciting topics, a lot of exciting information, and I know it's going to be life changing for you. The title of today's episode is 6 Feet Forward. 6 Feet Forward. I got the title and idea for today's episode. Just had a lot of services lately, just been really busy, a lot of events happening, and just, life happening events going on. And just in motion, constantly in motion. And I had a chance to go to the cemetery. And I know we take those moments at the cemetery for granted because we're there so much and we're working and we're focused and we're meeting with families and things of that nature. But it made me think, standing there and, looking in the grave, that sometimes we're so focused on looking 6 feet under or even behind us that we forget about the legacy that's ahead of us and that's forward. And it's easy to say that you're moving forward and you're moving to the next great thing or the next great adventure in your life. It sounds so easy, but really what scares us is we don't know what forward looks like. And I think sometimes we try to expedite the process of moving forward. We try to find shortcuts or quick ways to get around the hard work. And what I've started to realize is there's beauty in the work. There's beauty in the dedication. There's beauty in the satisfaction of saying, I made it this far. And there's beauty of having something to look back on. I mean, when I think of where I was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I did not expect to be where I'm standing at today. But that's a part of progress. That's a part of that moving forward. And there's innovation moving forward, which is why you guys as my audience and people watching all over the world have to understand that as you're making these steps in your life, you have to give yourself space to maneuver. It's hard to move and stay active and stay 6 feet forward if you have a bunch of clutter and mess and distractions around you, or even just having bad people around you in your circle. There's people who are supposed to be in your life, I feel, for certain seasons or for certain times. And then after that season's over, it's time for you to move on. And even as people who work in death, I think sometimes it's even hard for us to let go of certain things as we move forward and as we progress and as we leave the town that our great grandfather's funeral home was started at, in a small city, and expand to a city or a state that we've never even been to before. Or maybe your 6 feet forward is you going to a different state and getting another license and trying to expand your territory, and do more that way. So there's so many ways that you can move forward, and not just in funeral service, but in your personal life. If you have a weight loss goal that you're trying to reach, if you're trying to do something with, you might want to, I don't know, find a new gym to go to, or just keeping yourself active, keeping yourself in motion, keeping yourself moving forward. And I use the grave as an example because once you hit the grave, that's a wrap. There's no more. We, better than any other professional, should know that. Once a person is deceased, there is no more for you to do. You've done all that you can do. And so sometimes, even as professionals, we get caught up or stuck in things that really don't really matter. And we need to retighten in and refocus and rehone ourselves on the things that matter and the things that are steadfast and true in this industry. And that's always been growth and moving forward and taking care of people and loving people in one of the toughest times of their life. And so as we do that, as we progress, as we grow our understanding, as we grow our knowledge on funeral services, I don't care what anybody says, there's always more to learn about funeral services. Every year that I have the opportunity to go to NFDA, I learn something new. I get inspired by something new. I see compassion. I see love. I see engagement. I see a forward moving foot. I see a forward moving industry. I see people who are trying to break barriers and break grounds and just expand. And that's the beauty of funeral services. It's expanding. So next time you go to the cemetery, instead of looking 6 feet below you, look 6 feet forward and watch the changes and the aspirations and the dreams that begin to just burst out of you. Well, guys, I'm your host, Jaden Folks. This is the Millennial Mortician Podcast, a podcast that engraves. I love you guys. Try to stay warm out there. I know it's starting to rain a lot here in Virginia. And stay tuned for next week's episode. I have a lot of special things coming up, a lot of special projects coming in the works for you guys to surprise you with. And I hope you guys are just as excited as me. Love you guys. Be safe. Catch you on the next one.